We'll call to order of the Town Council of New Windsor's Town Council meeting for December 3rd, 2025. If you all would, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, it wasn't clear.
Thank you all. You may be seated. This meeting is open to the public. Public comment will be taken at the end of the meeting. Anyone wishing to speak is requested to sign in and shall be a New Windsor resident. When you speak, state your name, address, and then please be advised that your time will be limited to 3 minutes. All right. We should have all received last meeting's notes from the meeting. Hopefully you all did receive them. If you did, I'll take any or entertain any motions to accept the minutes as written. Anyone?
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written. If we have a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay. All right, we'll start with the mayor's report. This one should only take about 45 minutes. All right, folks. On November 21st, the town manager, Director of Public Works Myers, and I attended a meeting with the Carroll County Planning representatives, Commissioner Joe Vigliotti, and Springdale Preparatory Schools head of schools, Dr. Jerry Borman, and other representatives from the school and the county. The purpose of the meeting was to begin initial discussions regarding the feasibility of the school's 25-year growth plan and the impact that plan would have on the infrastructure and resources of the town. The tone of the meeting was very positive, and all parties agreed to future discussions. Springdale Preparatory School showed their revised plans for phase 1 of the project and stated that the revisions did not include additional residential units. That's a reference to the need for water requirements. So we'll get into that at a later date. But copies of the revised plan or revised phase 1 plans were delivered to the town for initial review by the New Windsor Planning Commission. A timeline for a decision has not been determined. That is a decision on the acceptance of that. All right, on November 22nd through the 28th, I participated in the Mayor on the Square food and coat drive to benefit the New Windsor food pantry at St. Paul's United Methodist Church. The event was a huge success. The New Windsor community contributed more than 30 cases of food and toiletries, 5 bags, and that is industrial-sized garbage bags of coats and clothing, and nearly $700 in monetary donations. I'd like to thank all the residents who donated food and clothing and money to support this event. I'd like to extend a special thank you to my church, Pastor Ross, and the church congregation, and Nina for organizing a parallel drive of their own at the church and bringing those proceeds over to the Mayor on the Square. I'd like to thank Clerk Treasurer Mangus for her support of this event and the town staff. I'd also like to thank Councilman Howard for braving the weather with me last Saturday, braving the cold with me, not the weather, the cold with me on Saturday for 4 hours to collect and deliver the donations. Thank you very much again. All right, I'd also, if you'd like to continue the effort, contact St. Paul's United Methodist Church at 410-635-2442 or St. Paul New Windsor at gmail.com. And they are certainly accepting of any donations, and whether it be food, money, or clothing. They also are looking for volunteers to help organize their efforts on an ongoing basis. So just like all the other volunteer organizations, they're kind of hurting for some help too. So if you're within an earshot of my voice and you hear this and you're so compelled to do so, I'm certain that they would be thankful for your help if you wanted to volunteer. And that ends my my report for the month. We can move into the council committee reports, and we will start with community enhancement and community relations. Councilwoman Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the Carroll County Downtown's campaign for this year for Shop Small is called Shop Small to Win Big. Look for tent cards in local businesses. I don't know if you can show the image, Councilman Frock, of the tent card. I put it in the folder. It's much more, it's simpler to use than the passport. So if there's a tent card in a business, it means they're participating. It's only for small businesses. Folks would scan the QR code and go through the prompts to enter, and they have to spend $35. The customers can win $250. There's several $250 prizes, and the participating businesses can win $100. So that started this weekend. So if you see that there's several businesses in New Windsor that are participating. I'm sure other folks are going to mention this in their reports. I just wanted to do a thank you for those of you who were here an hour ago. We had the Christmas tree lighting for our new 18-foot Christmas tree, which was a huge improvement on our lovely but small Christmas trees that we've had for several years. So thanks to the public works staff, the office staff, Layla Warden and Deeply Rooted, who made homemade cookies, the New Windsor Heritage Carolers, Santa Claus, and the New Windsor Fire Department. And especially thank you to Dream Big Union Bridge for thinking of us as a new home for the big tree. That's pretty much the report. The other stuff is just a reminder. I help monitor the town Facebook page, and recently there's been a few messages or comments that were really questions. I just want to remind everybody that the best way to contact the office is to call the main number or to email the town during business hours. There is an emergency number for water emergencies that's on the voicemail, but the staff don't necessarily monitor the Facebook page all the time. And, if you put a question on there, it could be days or hours or days before you got an answer. So if you really need help, please call or email. And then the usual events there listed. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Schultz. Public Works, Councilman Hoffman.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Public Works highlights for the past month include Public Works have been picking up leaves throughout town and will be doing so through December. Public Works have been utilizing the street sweeper throughout town. They've made several passes around the town. They've purchased and installed new brushes on the sweeper and performed some basic services on the machine. Public Works worked with the contractor CPE to perform paving repair around 60-plus manholes in town. The Public Works winterized Lions Park, so it's closed down for the year. Public Works have the town fleet prepared for winter weather. All 4 trucks have salt spreaders attached, and 3 of the 4 have plows as well. The 4th plow is on order. They were ready to go out the other morning, but it did not need them to, so that was probably a good thing. Public Works installed the Christmas wreaths around town. You've seen those, and many of the bulbs were replaced this year, so that was a big effort putting those in. As you have seen, Public Works installed the new Christmas tree in Fountain Park. It is impressive and looks great. Public Works did a great job with installing and decorating the tree, so I want to thank them publicly for that. Public Works will be picking up Christmas trees on January 8th, 15th, and the 22nd. Please ensure all the decorations, tinsel, etc. are removed. As a reminder, parking is prohibited on designated town snow emergency routes whenever a snow emergency has been declared by the State Highway Administration or the Maryland State Police. Please see the town newsletter for complete details, including the list of suggested places to move your vehicles. The Planning Commission, we did meet in November. We continued final review of the New Windsor Comprehensive Plan. We performed an in-depth review of the 13 maps in the document. The maps were updated by the Carroll County Planning Department. The Planning Commission reviewed the Carroll County Planning Department's submission to the state Water and Sewer Master Plan. Now, there's going to be a public hearing on the water resource element on February 4th at 6 p.m. at the county office building. They've offered that New Windsor can join that hearing with the other towns, and then we would not have to hold our own hearing. However, we need to have a quorum of the Planning Commission members at the county meeting. So we pooled the Planning Commission members last meeting. It looks like I would need to attend that meeting to ensure we had the New Windsor quorum there. Now, it's February 4th. February 4th is our town council meeting night. Best case, I will be late. That meeting starts at 6. They're supposed to do that hearing first, but they're going to do a hearing for each town. So depending on where we fall out and how many comments, not sure if I'm going to make it, be late or what. So the question on the table that the Planning Commission needs to understand is, will we still have a quorum here for our February 4th meeting if I am late or do not show during our meeting? So February 4th, is everybody else planning on being here?
I plan to be here.
Yes.
Okay, so all right. So I'm gonna let the Planning Commission know that we're gonna join the Carroll County's hearing on the water resource element. That'll save us from having to do the advertising and do all that for a public hearing. So we'll go up there and join their hearing and take care of that. Okay. The next scheduled meeting for the Planning Commission is December 22nd at 6 p.m. We're still planning on having that meeting. Participated in all the monthly town council meetings. As you heard the mayor say, and you saw on Councilwoman Schultz, that there was a meeting with Commissioner Vigalotti that we attended on the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project, so we're staying abreast with that. And also attended the monthly State Highway Administration virtual meeting on the town streetscape project.
All right. Any questions, folks? All right. Thank you, Councilman Hoffman. Water and Sewer, Councilman Frock.
All right, good evening, everyone. I attended the council meeting and the work session in November. And then Councilman Wolf Mallow and myself are continuing to review water and sewer data as we monitor the performance of the new rate schedule. A couple water and sewer updates: Snyder's booster station, new meter socket and wiring installed to improve power quality and ensure better connection. The Atlee water main replacement is scheduled for around December 15th. Residents should check the town website and Facebook for updates. The temporary bypass and repairs have cost just under $28,000 and included multiple mobilizations, leak detection attempts, and installation of the temporary bypass. It required a live tap of the 12-inch water main for Atlee Ridge. And then a holiday reminder: do not flush grease or non-flushable items down the sewer system. We are noticing an increase in these items. That's it.
All right. Any questions for Councilman Frock? Thank you, sir. All right. Let's see. Public Health and Safety, Councilman Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I attended the council meeting and the work session in November. Also attended the Opioid Prevention Coalition meeting on the 12th. Donated blood on the 13th. And like the mayor said, I was with him last Friday for Mayor on the Square. And just as soon as I got some feeling back in my feet, we were out here. And now I can't feel my feet again. But it was well worth it because it was a very good event.
Yeah, met some good residents.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And hopefully they will be either listening or attending in the very near future. But thanks again.
Certainly.
All right. Any questions for Councilman Howard?
I'm not done.
You're not done.
Oh,
I got a little bit more. I got a little bit more.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
No worries at all. Today is actually International Day of Persons with Disabilities Day. It promotes inclusivity, accessibility, and mental well-being for all. Our next Red Cross blood drive is on Thursday, March 12th, which is a couple months away. So no excuses for anyone. That's also going to be at the New Windsor Social Hall. This past donation, we collected 20 units, and I'd like to at least 5X that. So everyone in the sound of my voice, please come out for that. And I'll be talking about it as we go along here and over the next couple weeks and months. The last public safety and health notification, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Whether you're facing mental health struggles, emotional distress, alcohol or drug use concerns, or just need someone to talk to, counselors are available. You can call, text, chat, and ASL are also available. You can also visit 988lifeline.org. And that's it.
All right, now, do you have any questions for Councilman Howard? All right, thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
All right. Economic Development and Technology, Councilman Wolf Mallow.
Good evening, everybody. Like everyone, I also attended the council meeting and work session in November. I also met with local business owner to brainstorm some ideas for kickstarting our small business roundtable at the start of next year. And on that subject, tonight, you all should have a letter, draft letter that I would like to distribute via some means. Councilwoman Schultz, if you have some ideas, if we should post it to Facebook. Anne Marie said it can go in the newsletter.
Yep.
That's
She
good.
just needs it by December 12th, so we'll still have plenty of time to make any final edits to that. If anybody has any thoughts on that. I think the RSVP date I need to make a little later than January 8th. Based on the timeline of when the newsletter is going out, I think January 8th is probably not quite enough time.
Maybe just add something that if they can't come, how they could send thoughts to you or something like that.
Well, it's good that we can get it in the newsletter. I mean, we got about a little more than a
So
week.
I'll also maybe draft up like a consolidated Facebook post and send to you also sometime in the next week or two.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Also begin having conversations with town staff, Anne Marie, specifically on moving forward with the Sustainable Maryland effort to begin the process to get the town certified. I think currently there is only one town in Carroll County that is fully certified. It's Sykesville. There's 5 or 6 that are on the list that are working towards it. So I'd like to get us moving to that direction also. Meeting with her prior to the next work session. And also just want to publicly thank Public Works. I saw them out here in the cold weather decorating the tree. They did a really good job. It looks great.
And just to reiterate the purpose of the Sustainable Maryland and being certified, it opens us up for grants to fund some of the projects that we want to work on. Like we mentioned, the community garden. It doesn't necessarily have to be that particular one, but they do have a grant for that. And I know that a couple other municipalities, not in Carroll County, but around the state have done that. So.
Sykesville actually has a small one.
Yes, I'm sure theirs is nice. And I know Walkersville has a really nice one. So I don't know if they utilize the grant money from Sustainable Maryland, but nevertheless, it will help us kind of take a step in the direction of funding some of the projects we'd like to see happen. So. All right, well, thank you for heading up both of those, the Business Roundtable and the Sustainable Maryland, initiative. So, all right, thank you, Councilman Wolf Mallow. Any questions for the councilman? All right, if not, we will move down the agenda to Town Manager Dye.
Okay, good evening, everyone. A few things to mention. I did a rough estimate on lining the raw water line from Mainspring to Maryland 31, just to have it as a bookmark and a budget item. I reached out to 2 contractors. Eric Dutrow is the circuit rider for Maryland Rural Water, and he provided the contractor's contact information. So I was able to get a hold of those 2 and get some at least approximate numbers. Just some parameters of the raw water main that I use for rough calculations. This does not include lining the pipe from Denning's well to Mainspring, which is approximately 5,625 feet. It also does not include lining the pipe from the chlorine contact tank to the booster station at Snyder's, which that line is approximately 1,250 feet, which was recently replaced by Mid-Atlantic Utilities. The approximate length from Mainspring to the chlorine contact tank is 11,250 feet. And then the approximate length from Snyder's booster station to Maryland 31 is 1,250 feet. So total length to be lined would be 12,500. I rounded up and used 13,000 for estimating purposes. Both contractors had to make some assumptions due to several factors, one being the remote access of the water line, lack of access or farm roads to get to the pipe, locations in wetlands, and only having one or two existing valves along the line, as well as limitations of lining between 500 and 600 feet at a time. Access pits have to be excavated every 500 to 600 feet, and then also a bypass line, likely a 4-inch line, would have to be installed because we cannot shut down Mainspring while we're doing the lining. So the low estimate ranged from 2.6 million, and the high estimate is at 3.9. We're still waiting on some additional information from one of the contractors. This option is much less expensive than installing a new parallel water main via traditional installation. So we do have some rough numbers that we can consider in long-term budgeting for that. Second thing I have was the Lions Club field change of signee on the license agreement. So for the last 4 years, the town and Reapers Baseball Club have a license agreement to use Lions Club field. The latest agreement for 2025 and then previous agreements were signed by Paul Berge and Ron Manzo as co-presidents. Ron and Paul no longer need use of the field and are no longer involved as representatives of the Reapers Baseball. Stuart Simpson is taking over the Reapers Baseball Club 18 and under team as manager and has requested use of Lions Club field for the 2026 season. Stuart agrees to take over field maintenance responsibilities from the current 2025 license agreement holders, which is Ron and Paul. And then a copy of Stuart's request letters, which was a brief letter, is in tonight's folder. I informed Stuart that I would present his request to you all this evening. And if council is agreeable, a new license agreement with the same terms and responsibilities will be generated with Stuart Simpson as the signee. So it's just basically a change of management of the team that's using the field. They're willing to take over the same responsibilities. We could do another license agreement with 1 year, 1 year renewal options, if you are all acceptable to that.
Did we have any issues at all with the last agreement? Right? It was smooth.
They took real good care of the field. I think their kids have gotten older and they're moving on.
Right.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
So if you're good with that, then I'll draft up a new license agreement, have Stuart sign it, and do next year for 26, and then we'll reevaluate each year.
Yeah, if they do a good job, we can make it longer.
Yeah. Okay. And then last thing I have is the FY27 budget preparations. Budget preparation is underway. I put a copy of the budget schedule in tonight's folder. So beginning with the January 19th work session, various steps of the budget will be on the agenda for presentation and discussion. As a reminder, if Mayor and Council have anything specific to be addressed, to be added or addressed, let me know as soon as possible. Staff always welcomes questions and input. Something to think about for now. The resolution 050725A, which established water and sewer base usage and connection fees in the new tiered system. The resolution states water and sewer rates for FY27, which is what the budget we are going to be preparing now, shall be evaluated during preparation of each fiscal year budget. So the resolution, I put the resolution in tonight's folder if you want to look at that. So I don't know if there's any appetite for changing the rates. specifically the base and usage rates, but something to think about before we get really into the budget process. So need to know that sooner than later. Then lastly, just the upcoming meetings. Monday, December 15th is the work session, and then Wednesday, January 7th is the council meeting. That's all I have.
I have a couple things for you, Gary.
Sure.
Just so I don't forget, and probably Director Myers told you already, but talking with the Public Works guys this year, they told me that we possibly need at least one new salt box that should be put onto. Okay, I figured you probably had it, but it was fresh on my mind, so I thought I'd bring it up before I forgot. And secondly, Gary, on the lining of the water lines, is there any other costs that were not in this 2.6 to 3.9 million? Like, we talked about right-of-ways and stuff in the past.
I was thinking about that after I got all the numbers together. I don't know if we're gonna have to do plats and all that stuff as with just the lining, because there's only gonna be points of access that they're gonna need and pits that they need to do. I'll have to look into that too, because that number, I didn't want that to seem deceptively low.
Because it does.
Because it is.
Yes.
That's just the basically linear footage at their cost, assuming they're including the bypass and things like that, but not plats and right-of-ways and things like that. I don't think it would be as much as it would be if you're doing the whole line and you're putting a parallel line in and replacing the whole line, but there would be some cost to that. It's a hard number to put an estimate on though, but there very well may be some of that as well.
There'd probably be environmental concerns too, like with some of the wetland areas, stream crossings, permitting with the Army Corps of Engineers. We did find a plat. I know we talked several years now about the right of way that the town has, and it was a team of mules and a wagon. We found a plat that's more current that actually provides us 5 foot on both sides of the line, which isn't as ideal in my opinion, because it's only 10 foot total. And so we all know that, you know, in construction, you need quite a path for heavy equipment and machinery. And we would have to update the right of way. So I don't know if, you know, the legal right of way is 10 foot, if there would be an associated expense to expand that, compensation to property owners, or if they'd be willing to work with the town as a kind of a, this is just a short-term effect, we're gonna restore your property back to its original condition. But those are all other, you know, expenses that we might.
All right, great, thank you.
How many property owners are we talking about?
6.
What's the size of the line?
Diameter?
Yeah.
Or like,
8 inch.
8 inch.
8 inch, okay.
And we could go to a 6 inch. The 8 inch was just because it was based on gravity, and now that we're pumping, a 6 inch would be sufficient. So there would be a cost.
The
savings.
lining process takes up some pipe diameter
Yeah.
when you do that. I don't think we'd lose 2 inches, but we could easily get away with a 6, I believe, so.
All right, is that the conclusion?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for the report. Public Works Director Myers.
Good evening. Just another update on Atlee. Some of this is going to be a repeat, but we did the step test conducted on October 28th, and we determined that 20 gallons a minute was sustainable. So then on November 3rd through the 7th, we did the 96-hour test. 7 nearby residentials were monitored. That's based on MDE standards. No drawdown was observed. There was an abnormality in there we were concerned with, but no drawdown was observed, so that's good. We've gotten several tests back for water quality, but there's some extensive ones to put that onto the system, and we're still waiting on those lab results. They take a lot longer to get. We did contact MDE and touch base with them a little bit, and I think they're willing to permit it at the 20 gallons per minute, so that's good news there. In regards to the Atlee Ridge water main break that we had, we installed the bypass line. So far, there's been no issues with the water pressure or water quality there. We did determine that the leak was closer to the encasement next to the stream. And that's when we thought maybe we should just replace the line in its entirety, because by the time you dig it out and try to repair, it's encased with concrete. That's the way they did it years ago. And it's kind of settled out. For what reason, we don't know. So the original Atlee plan called for a 12-inch ductile line, and so we observed a mix of cast and ductile, and they actually tied in the old distribution line, which was 8-inch and 6-inch, and it doesn't meet current water quality standards, so we're going to end up replacing a larger section and kind of upgrading that. And so that's just for the water quality and the functionality and cost effectiveness, because we're already in there disturbing it, taking, several 100 feet of line out anyway. We're also going to move the fire hydrant. So there's two, one New Windsor Pike, one's right next to a telephone pole, and it's not accessible. And there's another at the dead end of the line that's going up towards like Hawks Hill. And so that one's kind of in a wetlands area and behind a guardrail, and that's not accessible. So the thought is to shift the new fire hydrant into the Atlee Ridge subdivision, and we could increase the pressure for the fire department probably by 20 to 30 pounds by putting it on a 12-inch line. So that'll be very helpful for those folks and fighting fires. And surprisingly enough, the closest fire hydrant is actually at Overley, which is 150 feet farther away from the beginning of the subdivision. So very, very not standard. So, and then lastly, we had a near, tragic incident when we were installing Christmas wreaths. We had a public works employee that almost got struck by a car. Someone wasn't paying attention. We've noticed that close calls are becoming a common issue. Drivers lack, paying attention. I would say he was probably 10 foot or less away from getting struck, and then I was right behind him in the lift. We had high vis gear on. Everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. The driver just wasn't paying attention. And quite honestly, when we got to Gazebo Park, she passed us, very dramatically around, and just had no care in the world as far as what we were doing. So I am going to look into traffic control to assist us with installing wreaths and installing the banners and everything. Where it gets tricky is like blind areas and like the four-way intersections. So that's something we're going to be looking into to see if we can get those things installed a lot safer. And the other thing is, like, when you're in the lift, you have kind of like a bird's eye view is the best way to explain it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you how many people I see texting on their phones while they're driving, while we're working. I mean, it's terrible. And so, hopefully nothing tragic happens. We've never had an accident. And it was a shame. I mean, we were all pretty shook up. I came in and I talked to Gary about it. And, that's not something I want to witness as one of my guys getting hit by a vehicle. So people should slow down, pay attention, and everybody wants to go home to their family. So, and that's all I have.
Is it possible, I've seen some constructions where a county cop will be sitting there with his lights on, his emergency lights on, and get people's attention that way.
Good segue to the community deputy.
Well,
He's up next anyway.
Speaking of
Director Myers, thank you for that report. And it is a perfect segue into the community deputy report.
All right,
Yeah.
say all that, I guess I will. So in years past, we have assisted them. I guess we didn't have a formal request this year, but you know, if we can get something in the works, sometimes I'm not here, sometimes I am. I can accommodate you guys, but if we get something early enough that I can put it on the books, I'll definitely be there for you.
All right,
I'll sit
appreciate
back with
that.
my lights on and make sure that we manage that. And I'll stop them if I see something that happened egregiously that happened to you guys. So anyhow, with that being said, it's been a very busy month for the Sheriff's Office as well. Some of you have probably seen that on the Carroll County Times and everything else. So I will say it's been busy in New Windsor as well. We're lucky though we haven't had the serious crimes that the rest of the county has been encountering, but you know, I hopefully we don't. Hopefully we weather the storm. So between 11/5/25 and 12/3/25, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office had 44 events within the town of New Windsor. This included 5 accidents, 2 alarm calls, 1 other call, which is basically a miscellaneous call, 2 animal complaints, 1 assault, 4 civil calls, 4 disturbance calls, 1 fraud call, 6 medical check welfares.
It's a fraud call.
It sounded like fraud.
Yes.
Fraud. F-R-A-U-D. Fraud. Sorry, I was born and raised in Carroll County. And that made So anyhow, 6 medical check welfares, 5 parking complaints, 1 suspicious activity, 1 theft, and 6 traffic stops. Out of those 5 events were found to be reportable. On 11/8/25 at 9:18 p.m., sheriff's deputies responded to the 100 block of Church Street for an alleged domestic assault. No injuries were observed and domestic violence supplemental paperwork was refused. The matters were documented by the sheriff's office. The alleged victim was advised of how to apply for charges as well as domestic resources. That case status is open pending charges. On 11/20/25 at 10:22 a.m., sheriff's deputies responded to the Carroll Hospital Center for a domestic assault call. Upon arrival, they met with an alleged victim who resides in New Windsor on College Avenue. No injuries were observed on the victims consistent with an assault. The other party was contacted and stories were conflicting. This case was documented by the sheriff's office. Protective orders were encouraged and knowledge of how to apply for charges was provided. That case is open pending charges as well. On 10/22/25 at 2:19 p.m., a fraud scheme was reported on Atlee Ridge Road. The victim was defrauded $500 by being coerced to using a Zelle payment in reference to college football tickets the victim was selling. This was originally listed on Craigslist. This case is open. There's a subpoena that has been applied for, and they're waiting on results from that. On 11/25/25 at 2:14 p.m., sheriff's deputies were working routine patrol when a crash was reported around Maryland 31 and Tibbetts Lane. Responding units didn't observe the reported vehicle in the area. Subsequently, deputies were flagged down by passerby who advised that the individual involved in the wreck was currently with the vehicle at the 7-Eleven in New Windsor. Deputies responded to the 7-Eleven in New Windsor and the vehicle was gone. Further investigation revealed that the vehicle struck 2 mailboxes including a concrete post. The vehicle was described as a 2024 Honda Accord, gray in color. The Maryland registration to the vehicle was later recovered off the front bumper cover at the crash site. Contact was attempted at the registered's address with negative results, and that case is open for further investigation. On 12/1/25 at 10:06 a.m., deputies were contacted about a crosswalk sign at Main Street and High Street in front of the Dealman Inn. The sign was originally reported as stolen, and footage was gathered from private residences as well as government buildings, which indicated that the sign was originally struck by white Ford F-350 on 11/30/25 at approximately 8:25 a.m. The pickup is white in color. It's a dually, and it had a bed cover on it as well. The sign was later stolen by a juvenile on 11/30/25 at 7:19 p.m. and the juvenile subject was identified. The sign was returned. So the sign is back in the custody of the town right now, and I believe Wayne is making contact with the state to try to get it remounted and placed in the ground there. But I think the damage to the sidewalk, rough estimate $1,500 to repair the brick. That case is open. for the hit and run portion as well still, and I still got to follow up with the juvenile. I made contact with the mother. Additionally, an informal complaint was taken in Snyder Summit in reference to a group of juvenile subjects doorbell ditching, as well as altering Christmas lights and decorations. No destruction has been reported at this time, and one of the subjects was identified, which was a surprise to me, that individual would do this. But anyhow, this is to be followed up with. Time didn't permit prior to this report, but several emails have been sent from Snyder Summit in reference to that. And I believe they want to handle it informally, but I just want to make sure that that's the route that we're supposed to take going forward. So I'm pretty sure that concludes my report.
All right, any questions for Deputy McGinnis? Thank you, Deputy McGinnis. All right, I spoke to West Carroll Rec Council. They do not have a report for the month. Fire Chief, we have not. I think they are doing quarterly reports. That moves us down to Treasurer's report.
All right.
Treasurer Mangus.
The auditors are currently working on the single audit for the ARPA funds. I have a call with them tomorrow, hopefully to wrap everything up. We have a CD that will mature with CQ on the 16th of December. I will have a few options at the work session so we can just move forward. And then finally, donations for Toys for Tots are due by the end of the week. So please help donate a toy for children in need.
Looks like we're off to a good start.
We have a full box. I'm very
Yes,
excited.
we do. We do. Just hope the kids are all good.
Stan checks his list.
Sounds like some of them up in Snyder Summit are not behaving themselves.
But not my friend here. He's-
He wasn't involved.
All right. Water and sewer billing clerk, do we have notes?
Tim's out of town, so no report there. And Joan was supposed to be here, but I guess something came up, so I don't have a report from her either.
All right. That brings us to Heidelberg Materials update. All right.
I'll stand up in the corner here.
Well-
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kurt Deary.
Dave,
I'm the
tell me.
environmental engineer.
Can you?
Kurt, we need you to
You
go.
can't, you can't hear me?
Well, that's to be on TV.
That's fine. It's been a while since I've done this. I apologize.
That puts you on TV, Kurt,
This is the people for online.
Ah.
And then you can sign it.
for the TV audience.
Oh, you're killing me. No, I feel like Dan, Wayne Newton or something.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know me, Kurt Deary, I'm the environmental engineer at Heidelberg Materials. I almost said Lehigh. I apologize. Okay. For me, it's been Lehigh my whole life. So I've been there 20 plus years. I'm the guy that did the permitting for the quarry expansion and the conveyor. I'm here to introduce a new employee. But before I do that, let me give you kind of where the quarry is at New Windsor right now. We are not frantically, but our focus is going south right now. We're designing a pit, not retweaking the pit, designing the pit to head south now. The northern pit that approaches the town limits, where we're mining now, in the next 10 years, we will be out of that area and going south. So we are looking at stripping in the next 2 years or 3 years, between now and the next 3 years, we'll be stripping that southern portion, taking all the overburn off that area and preparing it to mine. So that's our focus right now. It seems like it was yesterday that we started the North Pit. We went through that very quickly. We have our issues sometimes with blasting, as you all know. Not any fault of our own or our blasters. Sometimes things happen that we can't control. And we, again, will address that as quickly as possible. We have a couple monitors, blast monitors, vibration monitors around Old New Windsor Road with people that requested them, so we're still doing that. We're still doing the groundwater levels, still monitoring all those things that we're supposed to. Any questions or concerns anybody have, call the plant and ask for me. I think all of you have my numbers by now. If not, I have a few business cards in my hand. I can distribute them today. You all are aware that we have a new plant manager, Walter Smith. Kent Martin has retired with unfortunate circumstances, but he has retired and he is enjoying his retirement right now. With that said, we do have a new quarry manager, Kwaku, who was our former quarry manager, has been promoted in Allentown, so he's very involved with the aggregates portion of our business line. So he's working out of Allentown, assisting the aggregate plants across the Northeast. And hence that created a need for a new mine manager here at New Windsor. So Charles, what's your last name, sir? Ayewa. And when I say new, I met him, I think, Wednesday afternoon. And I don't think he has a cell phone yet. So I wanted to invite him to dinner tonight, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So I would like you to come up, introduce yourself, tell me your background, where you're from, and he will be, along with Michael Simpson, who is our quarry supervisor, he will be your new contact at the New Windsor Quarry.
Thank you very much. Charles Ayor, like he said, I'm new to town, barely a week. I'm still here, a lot going on. I'm trying to learn a lot about the quarry, the operations, and also part of my job is going to be, attending to the town meetings and being involved in the community as well. Currently I reside, or I just moved from New Hampshire, so I've been there for the last 5 years, and same similar operation in industrial minerals. So I hope to bring some of my experience down here, about 15 years, to help the operation, as you said, expanding to the new pit and the layers in between environment, operate, and community as well. So I'm looking forward to my time here and add to the value that we've had with the past manager and reps in the company. You can see me around. Being involved. As soon as I have my contact, I'll find the opportunity to either distribute somehow, or have it through email, through comic, and make sure I can leverage any time.
Thank you, Charles. And what I'd like to offer, it's been a while since we've opened up the quarry for a tour. If any of you would like to come stop by and see the quarry and see a shot, I know we had an unfortunate, unsafe incident. Everyone at the quarry was safe, the community was safe, but what had happened that failed, the electronics on the control box failed, was rather unsafe. If anyone would like to come and do another tour of the quarry, I'm willing to contact me. We're willing to open up the quarry again and see the crushers, see how we operate. We're always open to do that. It's been a while since we've done that, and I feel like if there's a need, at least, if we don't do this for a couple of years, I feel like awkward that we don't do that. So if there's a need for the community to come and just see what we do, let me know, and we'll arrange something to a convenient time, whether it's in the evening, in the summertime, or spring, or something, or if it's a Saturday morning. But we can work it out, and I can send an email to the mayor of when we shoot. Our shots are pretty stable of when we're going to do it, so I can give you, in the next 6 months, some times when we shoot, so you can see how we do it and what is entitled to that. Because quite frankly, the first time I saw it, I was really like, wow, that's it. Like, if it all goes well, it's really boring. It's not like a Western where things are blowing up. It's really like, I think at one point, a few years ago, we had something at Union Bridge, back when that was operating, and we had an old plunge box. So we had an old makeshift, the whole thing was set up where, like, the mayor of Union Bridge pushed the plunge box and it blew up. It had nothing to do with the shot at all, but it was all set up. But, so, I mean, I think it's good that if you live around the quarry, you should understand all that happens. So I will offer that. We can arrange that. Whatever you guys feel need, but that's always offered.
Okay,
And again, I thank you for the invitation coming here.
thank you for attending today.
Questions for anyone?
I do.
Yes.
All right, so first I'd like to thank you for opening up the opportunity for us to come take a tour. I'd love to do that. Charles, welcome to New Windsor. We have you on the agenda. So while we don't expect you to be here at every council meeting and work session, we expect you to be here at every council and work session. No,
Council meetings.
Council meetings, maybe.
yeah, I'm kidding. At least quarterly. I think that's what we talked to Walter about. We would love to have you come back on a quarterly basis just to give us an update. Just so if residents, want to, have questions or whatever, it's better when we have a kind of routine set that, getting
I
it.
agree, and between his quarry foreman, Charles, and myself, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Somebody will be here.
Okay. All right, so if we can look forward to that on a quarterly basis, that would make us happy. And question about I don't know, well, two questions. I know that you all were doing a community outreach dinner. Are you planning to do that again?
Yeah, we will. We've had a lot of change within the company, management change, both at the plant and at corporate. Everyone kind of either retired all at once
Right,
or got promoted all at once.
right.
And it left a void. And the void was management who were here over the last 20 years of my career with certain standards that my team set up with Vince Campanella, Kent Martin, and we met. That kind of fell by the wayside. We
Okay,
gotta get that going again.
okay.
That's the first one. The second thing is, unfortunately for us, and maybe good for us, there's not much has happened. We've had some change of employees, but since the conveyor project, the core project has been permitted, we haven't had a lot of information to tell you.
I see.
And that's quite honest, it's been business as usual for us. With the quarry going to the south, with some new faces, it may be time just to have one, just to get together and say, hey, we're still alive, and this is new faces, and this is where we're going. But as far as the Union Bridge plant goes, there's not a whole lot of expansion talk going on. There's not, once New Windsor Quarry goes south, which we're permitted for already, there's not a lot of interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, I got you. All right, now, the second question was, at that last community dinner,
Mhm.
I'm not really sure, but the north part of that quarry, we've developed a mountain.
Okay.
And that's not, I'm not throwing stones there, pardon the pun. I'm just saying,
Well,
from what I understand, because you can see it from a big part of the town. Am I correct in that you're gonna use that to fill the back end?
The north part should be concurrent reclamation. So when you look at that, as we build 50-foot lifts, it should be seeded. Right, so as we go up 50 foot, we seed.
Okay,
So by the time we get that pile done, it should be grass mountain.
oh,
What's going into the north pit is the overburden from the south
from the
pit.
south, okay, I got you.
Now, with that said, I'll take a ride tomorrow to see what I see out there, because Kweku, we had a discussion, I don't have to throw a guy under the bus, he's gone, but maybe I should. It was the old guy that did that. That was permitted as concurrent reclamation, which means we mine, we put overburn on, we build a 50-foot lift, we slope it 3-to-1, we seed it. And that grows into, whatever, grass. So, and you do that as you build the mountain. So then at the end of the life of that project, that's 3-to-1 sloped grass mountain.
Okay,
And if it's not looking like that, I guarantee you, the newest employee at Heidelberg will be on my list.
okay, well, I'll refer to my experts who can see it from their windows. The neighbors of Snyder Summit, council members,
I don't see
No,
it.
I can see it from my deck, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, we won't see it until the 50-foot lift's done.
okay. How
but then
close are
we'll
we to
slowly
that?
see it.
How close are we to that?
I don't know, sir.
Okay,
I do not know.
It looks like a big rock mountain.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think anybody expected it to be that visible. When you go up 31, it just as you leave town on the right, it's huge.
All right, yeah, so I go up Old New Windsor Road, so let me drive up 31.
That would be helpful,
And
thank
then
you.
you see that side, and,
Well, drive into Snyder Summit.
Yeah, that's another way.
Yeah.
Either
No,
one.
no, I'm just saying,
No, I understand. No, we were permitted for concurrent reclamation, and if that's not happening, because on the Old New Windsor side, I know it's happening, so I'll, let me see what I can see.
yeah.
It has deadened the sound quite a bit from like the machinery and everything. You can't hear the machinery anymore.
Yeah, at one time, you could hear clunk, 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 clunk.
And the backup alarms.
Yeah, now
This
you,
was hydraulically hammered on a crane or something.
Well, now, when we do a shot, if we have to break rock down to get into the crusher, we
Yeah,
have a rock hammer, that's probably what you were
Yeah.
hearing.
this is running all day long, you know.
Like you know, on the formation of the rock when you blast, our crusher can handle like Volkswagen size rocks,
Yeah.
but anything bigger than that, we gotta break down.
Okay,
So that's probably what you were hearing, but all that depends on the shot pattern and the formation of the stone where we're blasting.
well, I have my basement, for instance, is stone put together with sand and lime.
Mhm.
And of course, when I have a lot of mountains of sand and lime laying next to the wall.
Where are you
I'm
looking
right here
at?
on New Windsor, right here.
High Street.
31.
So are you in the ZOR?
Excuse me?
You were in a ZOR?
No.
Influence.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Kind of goes the other way.
in town.
I'm just right across Church Street.
Oh, okay.
A block from here.
Okay, yeah, no, you're not in the ZOR.
No.
Kurt, just one other thing, and I don't know if there's anything Heidelberg we talked about this with Walter the last time he was here, where we're having a lot more trucks come through town. And and Deputy McGinnis has been addressing this, first of all, a lot of them are speeding, but the other problem is a lot of them aren't putting their covers on. So,
Well,
yeah, I know, I don't know how much Heidelberg can do about that, but
Well,
it just kind of
yeah,
FYI.
one of the things you can do something about, and that's why I'm here. You have trucks taking a shortcut and loaded coming up Church Street, which is the town street, making their turn and then get on.
So, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And then you can tell me I'm a terrible person, that's fine. I can't control where a truck drives. They pay taxes, just like I pay taxes, you pay taxes, okay? We do everything we can, and I don't know why, they don't make a left-hand turn out of our quarry and go to 31, but they don't want to drive all the way around, back into town. So they turn left, and they go down Sam's Creek Road. Then everybody on Sam's Creek Road calls me. So,
Well, they also do that to avoid me.
well, yeah, so we are doing the best we can with truckers. I understand your concern.
Well,
If you knew my pain dealing with these guys,
I have a solution.
okay?
Before you come to town, we have a railroad track.
Yes,
There's a big lot there.
yes.
Set up a scale and weigh some of these guys, because I know they're overweight. And of course, they don't have their covers on. Well, okay. But what I'm saying is-
So at Union Bridge,
If they're, just a minute, if they're inconvenienced, you know, that they know that maybe there's a scale down there, they won't make that right turn instead of that left turn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the old.
yeah, I hear you.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, let's table this for the sake.
Yeah, so let me to your point. We had an issue at Union Bridge out our shipping entrance. Trucks were turning right back into town. So we went out with Jersey barriers up. So it made it awkward to make a right. Feel backing up on this. Maryland DOT came and said, you can't do that. That's against the law. It's a state highway. If they wanna make a right turn, they're allowed to make a right turn. We're doing everything, I will go back to the plant, talk to my raw materials people and address it again. But if you can create a solution where a truck driver will listen to you more than a day, let me know what it is.
It isn't all the trucks.
I know, it's a handful of you, I know.
There's just a couple of them, and they figured out a way to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you tell me an identification of the truck number, I will address that right there.
I'm pretty sure you know which ones they are.
Yeah.
I know them just as well.
There's one guy
Well, there's feesers, there's a bunch of guys that
No,
do.
none of these are feeders.
Okay,
It doesn't even have a marking on the side of it. It's a maroon, old maroon black truck.
I don't.
Well, anyway,
Okay.
you don't know.
Feesers could have something else.
I see it all the
I got you. I
time.
mean,
See, my bedroom.
You're killing me,
looks right
man.
out on
You're
the-
killing me.
It looks right out on the end.
Well, I'll tell you, for the sake of the progress of the meeting,
I-
we'll address it. You can hang around afterwards and we can
Well,
talk a little
I
bit
mean,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, I thank you for coming out. And,
Well, yeah, make
and-
Mr. McCormick, appreciate it.
and then, we'll take you up on the tours and then,
Yeah.
you know, Mr. Dixon, I'll address it.
I personally felt like we've had a lack of community reach here because of things that happened in my plan. There's nothing I can control. I think we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
And I feel it myself. So I think we need to get some, like I said, let's get the dinner arranged. Let's do some tours, just so everyone is aware of what we're doing.
Yeah, and then the meeting, the quarterly meetings,
Yeah.
it will be very helpful, I think, and we'll.
Outstanding. And when we go south, within the next 10 years, a lot of this will ease.
Okay.
We're old.
All right, we'll keep working on
All
it.
right, well, thank
All
you.
right, thank you for attending tonight. Charles, welcome, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or just give it to us.
all right. All right, let's see, thank you.
I've already covered one.
I appreciate that. New business, review of policies. Clerk Treasurer Mangus, you want to take
So in
that?
the yes, sorry, Mayor. In the folder, there are 5 policies up for review. We asked the council to review them, look over them, and we will discuss further at the work session, just like the last time. And again, once we get these 5 done, I have 5 more waiting for you.
All right. All right, any questions about the policies for those that have seen them in advance? No? Yes.
Well, I'll wait for the
Okay,
discussion.
We'll just wait till next meeting.
okay, all right. Okay, how about the emergency alert system?
Yes,
Deputy Meyer, you gonna address that?
So
My chair.
I was kind of working on this with Kim, and she's on vacation, but we'll give you a brief rundown. So we're looking at maybe some kind of resident alert system. And the town currently uses Twilio for our SCADA system. And so it sends us texts when something's wrong with the water plant or the sewer plant. And I started brainstorming, thinking, man, this is a great feature. If we could get people signed up, if we had a water main break or something. We had some issues with Atlee. Some people said that they weren't notified about the break, and basically you have 134 houses there. It's impossible in that type of a situation to go door to door with hang tag notices. So how can we reach out to the public and let them know that there's some kind of a public issue? And it seems like no matter what we put on Facebook or the website, there's always somebody that doesn't feel like they've been notified. So this puts that on the resident to sign up for this service. Long story short, there's some services that cost money, and then there's some services that are free. Kim found out that Diversified, which is our water sewer billing system company, actually offers email and text alerts for free. So we're looking into that and seeing if we can utilize an existing platform that we already paid for. And the trial run hasn't been the greatest, so we gotta get some training, see if we can, establish some kind of system, and then see if that suits our needs, or we need to expand it and then have a paid service. So the plan is, when she gets back from vacation, we're gonna do some trial run on it, and then see if we can get people notified on some things. And it would be extremely helpful this time of year. We all know about snow emergencies and how folks don't move, that we get people signed up. And this would also be a way to engage citizens that are renters that don't receive bills from the town too, where they could sign up on this particular platform, which is a good outreach tool. We could get people signed up for newsletters and just get contact information and things like that. Just to get us up to speed. And that's basically it. I don't wanna spitball numbers or anything, or, we just kinda wanted to give you an update on kind of what we were looking at, and ask for everyone's blessing, and think of, ask you guys if it was a good idea, and then go from there.
Sounds like a good plan.
I think a nice side effect of this is getting people signed up for electronic water bills, because then we start saving postage. We all know how expensive it is to put them all together and mail them out,
Reliable.
and it's only gonna get worse. So we get signed up for this and newsletter and water, water bill. Town starts saving a little bit of money on it.
There may be urgent situations where we have to do hang tags, but it's more manageable in a smaller group. Whereas, we can get notifications out a lot sooner in a text message. And then people nowadays, everybody has Ring doorbells and camera systems, and our town's expanded, and some people, we're not familiar faces and they don't know who we are, and this would say, hey, Public Works is gonna be in your area at this date and time, performing maintenance on this and that. And so we think that's a step in the right direction, so.
I suggest reaching out to other municipalities. I know Town has an app, and when they launched the app, they had a hard time getting people to sign up for the app, and see, I don't know where they stand now, but see if they figured out a way to get people to sign up for it, instead of just putting in a newsletter or something like that. Honestly, how I found out how Town had it was, I went to pay my water bill and it was on the website. And they had a QR code, and then it took you to the wrong town, and I had to call them.
I can do that.
I did.
And they use the same billing program.
And, they use the same billing program, but,
So,
yeah, I know that was a challenge for them, and
I
I
can do
would.
an email to the town managers and the
Yeah.
other. I think it's a good idea.
Free sounds great
especially
compared to
if
that.
If the cost isn't that bad, it puts the responsibility on the residents. That way, the people that are complaining, they didn't get notified, if they complain, you need to sign up.
just another tool in our tool belt. We'd have Facebook, the website, and then the notifications
And the hang tags
and
sometimes.
hang tags.
Well, I know Dana looked into this a couple of years ago and it was very
It
expensive.
was, I think when I looked into it,
Yeah.
Cone, who does our website, would charge $4,000 to create an app, and just for like GoGov was $3,000, and realistically, like Town has the GoGov, it sends you to the website. You click on it, it just sends you to the website. Now they do have a notification system. There was a water main break and it was on my street, so I did get a notification. I popped up, but I signed up for the app. It's getting that hurdle of people to sign up.
Yeah.
And I know they had trouble, and maybe they figured out a way to do it, which could benefit us.
All right. Thank you, Director Myers. All right, any questions? We covered your question about various things, so.
My main concern was it's a town road, and I saw when that road was built, the Church Street, when they
Oh.
did Church Street, way back, I mean, it's been 20 years ago.
Right,
And it was not made for trucks like that.
no.
Now, when they're not loaded and they make a shortcut, that's no big deal. But when they're loaded, and some of them, I guarantee you, are overweight.
Can I just add, when they're heading westbound, I don't think there's a sign that prevents them going to go down Church Street. Because I actually stopped a guy for it one day and he argued with me, and I was like, let me backtrack and see this. But when they're turning out of the plant, there's a sign that tells them not to turn right. It's very clear. It's right there on the gate, or not the plant, the quarry. When they're making a right down Old New Windsor, it's a very large sign there that tells them not to turn right. So I think maybe on the town's part, if we could entertain putting a sign up before you approach Church Street, that would keep them from turning right on the Church.
Yeah, like before the railroad track, maybe?
I'm like up here,
There,
past town hall towards Maine,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
there's a sign right in front of the church that says, don't
Yeah.
turn.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Right in front of.
So like right, yeah, like so
That's
the,
heading off to Maine though, right?
no, it says, when you're coming down 31 into town, there's a sign in front of the church that says not to turn left, not to turn right onto Church Street. There is a sign there.
Okay, all right.
So whoever was arguing with you was wrong.
Even still, a sign at like Uncle Mattie's corner to not go down this side of church further reinforces it and gives you a little more leverage.
I mean, a reasonable person would not turn down there, but unfortunately, in today's society, we don't deal with reasonable people all the time.
I think these guys get paid by the ton.
And the truck GPSs, a lot of times they don't
Yeah.
update on the weighted roads, unfortunately.
Well, and realistically, I mean, once streetscape happens,
We'll have to bump out.
that turn is gonna be
Harder.
near impossible for any type of truck. So it's a shorter term, hopefully, issue that we can handle a couple different ways.
Well, folks, if that's all we have for the night, our agenda is complete. Do we have any questions? We don't have any old business, so I'll entertain motions to adjourn. Do I hear a motion?
To adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
All right.